What happens when the deadliest soldier alive wakes inside a starving frontier hunter? Lu Di's saving a comrade, yet death refuses to keep him. His final memory is a bullet tearing through him near the border. In his former life, he serves among the finest Special Forces soldiers. Years of combat sharpen his reflexes, instincts, endurance, and merciless discipline. Then he opens his eyes beneath the roof of a broken ancient shack. Several rough soldiers stand nearby, shaking him awake with impatient hands. Lu quickly realizes he has awakened inside another man's weakened body. This body also belongs to a hunter named Lu from Wan. Wan is a brutal frontier town in the northern kingdom of Du. Criminals, exiles, soldiers, hunters, and desperate families survive together there. Written law carries little meaning because strength decides nearly every dispute. For ordinary people, such a place would feel like a living nightmare. For Lu, it feels strangely familiar. The soldiers announce that the emperor is distributing wives to unmarried frontier men. These women committed crimes and were exiled as rewards for border residents. Lu addresses the soldiers respectfully, though they are merely common troops. One soldier enjoys the flattery and tosses him a piece of flatbread. Even in a new world, Lu understands that manners can purchase opportunities. The soldiers march everyone toward a crowded market square inside Wuhan. A raised platform stands beneath the winter sky, surrounded by restless men. Women of many ages wait above, hiding fear behind stiff expressions. Most possess broad shoulders, dark skin, and bodies hardened by labor. Their future depends entirely on whichever stranger chooses them that morning. Then Lu notices one young woman who looks unlike all the others. Her skin is fair, her face delicate, and her posture quietly dignified. A simple high ponytail sways behind her whenever the wind crosses the platform. She resembles the graceful university beauties Lu remembers from his former world. Commander Zhao Taishan steps forward and announces the marriage rules. Every unmarried man must select one woman before leaving the square. However, marriage alone does not protect either person from frontier law. If no child is born within 1 year, both become slaves. Slaves in Wan receive the hardest labor and the cruelest treatment. During enemy attacks, they are driven forward as disposable human shields. The announcement instantly changes how every man judges the women. Beauty becomes worthless beside strong limbs, wide hips, and visible health. Men surge toward the broadest women, grabbing hands before rivals can react. Even older women are chosen quickly because they appear capable of childbirth. The fair young woman remains alone as the platform gradually empties. Her slender body makes everyone assume she is too weak to survive pregnancy. Lu's neighbor Wu Laurer notices his attention and begins mocking him. He offers 100 copper coins if Lu marries the unwanted beauty. Other men join the wager, laughing while increasing the promised wedding gift. Their cruelty reaches the young woman clearly, though she refuses to lower her head. Shame burns across her face, but no tears escape her steady eyes. Lu recognizes something rare within her silence. She carries pride that hardship has bent but failed to break. Their eyes meet briefly across the almost empty platform. Surprise flickers through her expression when she studies his calm face. Perhaps she expects hunger, mockery, lust, or the same rejection as everyone else. Instead, she sees a man who has already made his decision. Commander Zhao spits impatiently and orders Lu to choose someone sturdier. Lu ignores the advice and points directly toward the delicate young woman. He declares that she will be his wife. The laughing crowd falls quiet for a heartbeat before mocking him even harder. Lu accepts their coins without shame because survival matters more than appearances. The young woman's name is Sang Yushi. She leaves the market beside Lu, uncertain what kind of husband chose her. One moment he protects her dignity with fearless confidence. The next he curses casually like a hardened street fighter. Yushi cannot yet understand that both sides belong naturally to him. Lu, meanwhile, feels almost cheerful about his sudden marriage. His former military life left little room for romance or ordinary companionship. Once comrades dragged him to a dance hoping he might meet someone. He stepped on a woman's foot so painfully that the evening ended immediately. Now fate has skipped every awkward courtship and placed a wife beside him. Lu begins humming a love song remembered from his previous world. Its message promises that a good man never allows his woman to suffer. When he glances down, tears are shining inside Yushi's eyes. He briefly fears his singing has wounded her worse than exile. Instead, she quietly admits that she finds the melody beautiful. She wonders whether he created it himself. Lu claims the tune simply appeared in his mind while walking. That answer relaxes her and she leans gently against his arm. Their fragile warmth breaks when Lu stops beside a liquor shop. He orders 2 pounds of the strongest alcohol available. Fear flashes across Yushi's face before she can hide it. She has heard countless stories about boarder husbands who drink and beat wives. Lu notices her reaction but explains nothing yet. He needs the liquor for medicine, not drunken violence. Using most of the wedding money, he buys garlic fruit, salt, and sugar. He also purchases a clay pot millet and a sharp new knife. Winter makes vegetables and fruit more expensive than meat in isolated Wan. Still, every item serves an urgent purpose in Lu's developing plan. They return to Quishan village south of the city walls. Lu's home is little more than a collapsing shack filled with cold air. The bed consists of dried grass crawling with fleas and dust. He removes his only spare cloth and spreads it beneath Yushi carefully. She notices the flatbread resting on the table but does not touch it. Hunger tightens her throat, yet manners keep her hands folded. Lu tells her plainly that the food is hers. Yushi breaks off a small portion and leaves the larger half behind. She believes Lu deserves more because he carried her during the journey home. Her concern catches him completely unprepared. No woman has ever worried whether Lu himself has eaten enough. He swallows his share quickly, pretending the unexpected kindness means little. Once Yushi feels safe, she devours her portion with desperate speed. Loose strands of hair fall into her mouth, but she barely notices. She finally introduces herself fully as Sang Yushi. Then she asks what respectful name she should use for her husband. Lu explains that husband will suit their legal relationship perfectly. Her shy use of the traditional word xianggong softens something inside him. A lifetime of war trained Lu to bury tenderness beneath cold discipline. Yet this lonely woman makes him want to protect someone again. Before affection can grow further, he notices the infected wound on her leg. Lu begins crushing garlic while heating the strong liquor over the fire. He distills the alcohol, then sterilizes the sharp knife inside the flame. Yushi watches nervously and asks what he intends to do. He explains that the rotting wound must be cleaned before infection kills her. She stares at him in disbelief because hunters rarely understand medicine. Lu asks whether she trusts him enough to endure the treatment. Yushi remembers how he claimed her proudly before everyone in Wan. That memory gives her courage, and she agrees without further hesitation. Lu rolls her trouser leg upward, revealing swollen flesh around the injury. The wound has darkened and foul fluid gathers beneath the broken skin. He warns that the procedure will hurt badly because no anesthetic exists. She may scream, bite something, or grip the bed until it ends. Yushi nods, though fear trembles through her entire body. The sterilized blade touches her skin and she jerks violently. Before Lu can offer anything to bite, she seizes his arm. Her teeth sink into him while he cuts away the dead tissue. Pain burns through both of them, yet Lu's hands remain perfectly steady. He removes the rotten flesh and squeezes every trace of pus free. Years of battlefield medicine make the gruesome work familiar and efficient. The cutting ends in less than 1 minute. Then Lu lifts the concentrated alcohol and signals her to prepare. Yushi gives a frightened nod while gripping him even harder. The liquid strikes the open wound. Her scream tears through the thin walls and echoes across neighboring homes. Lu holds her firmly so she cannot ruin the treatment by thrashing. Neighbors hear the cries and assume the newlyweds are behaving shamelessly. Insults fly through the walls, but neither Lu nor Yushi notices them. When the pain finally passes, cold sweat covers her trembling body. Her eyes redden as she asks whether the suffering is finally finished. Lu answers that only the bandaging remains. Even that small task terrifies her after the agony she has endured. He searches the room and finds nothing clean enough for wrapping. Their only cloth lies dirty beneath her on the grass bed. Lu asks whether she possesses any clean fabric of her own. Yushi blushes deeply and reaches inside her layered clothing. She produces a fine white silk handkerchief woven by her late mother. The cloth was likely intended as a private keepsake for her wedding night. Lu simply smells it for cleanliness, then carries it toward the pot. Yushi looks mortified, relieved, and strangely happy at the same time. He boils the silk, wrings it carefully, and binds the wound securely. Next, Lu begins preparing medicine from the garlic. He briefly considers cultivating penicillin but rejects the dangerous idea. Dirty frontier conditions could produce poisonous mold instead of useful medicine. Garlic offers a safer, natural antibacterial compound that the body absorbs easily. Lu crushes it, controls the heat, mixes alcohol, and filters the liquid. The crude extraction process consumes almost 2 hours. He works with chipped bowls, rough pots, and whatever tools the shack provides. Whenever a stage succeeds, Lu celebrates and raises 2 fingers triumphantly. Yushi does not understand the gesture but watches with widening fascination. At last, he applies the finished extract directly around her cleaned wound. Then he fills a spoon and tells her to swallow the bitter medicine. She obeys immediately without even smelling it first. Lu teases her for drinking something that might secretly be poison. Yushi reasons that poisoners rarely prepare their murder weapon before the victim. Their shared laughter fades gradually into a soft and unfamiliar silence. Their eyes remain locked across the flickering fire. Two lonely people suddenly recognize the same hunger for warmth and belonging. Lu leans closer while Yushi's lashes tremble against her cheeks. She closes her eyes and accepts his gentle kiss. He promises that her leg should heal completely before much longer. Yushi wraps her arms around his waist, overwhelmed by grateful happiness. She cannot understand why a husband chosen today treats her so kindly. Lu says repayment is simple because they must avoid slavery after 1 year. His meaning sends color rushing across her entire face. She hides against his chest and gives a soft, embarrassed agreement. They remain together, listening quietly to each other's heartbeats. Lu feels a peace that battlefields never gave him. He also realizes Yushi's loose robes concealed a healthier figure than expected. The tender moment ends when winter wind cuts through the damaged walls. Yushi begins shaking uncontrollably beneath Lu's thin jacket. Infection has weakened her, and the northern cold punishes weakness without mercy. They own no blanket-proper bedding, firewood reserve, or winter clothing. Even Lu can barely tolerate the flea-covered straw beneath them. For Yushi, the shack could become a frozen grave before morning. Lu finally understands why poverty and winter so often arrive together. Survival now demands immediate action rather than comfort. Fortunately, the original hunter left a maintained buffalo horn bow on the wall. Lu removes his worn cotton coat and drapes it around Yushi's shoulders. He also leaves the knife within her reach for protection. Then he prepares to hunt on Eagle Mountain before daylight disappears. Yushi catches his sleeve and produces a beautifully crafted golden hairpin. It is likely the final valuable object remaining from her former life. She explains that deep snow hides wolves, tigers, and dangerous mountain paths. Rather than risk his life, she wants him to pawn the hairpin first. Lu hesitates because taking her dowry fills him with shame. They married only hours ago, yet she already sacrifices everything for him. Yushi brushes dust from his clothes with gentle, determined fingers. She believes their life will improve because he is now her husband. Her late mother would have offered the same advice without hesitation. Emotion swells painfully inside Lu's chest. He kisses her again and promises to return before their meal. She asks only that he come home safely and early. Lu carries the bow arrow's rope and golden hairpin into the snow. He cannot allow a woman like Yushi to regret believing in him. Eagle Mountain lies south of the village beyond fields buried under white drifts. Game has become dangerously scarce near the familiar hunting trails. The body's former owner starved because those trails produced nothing. 20 pounds of millet will barely last Lu and Yushi 1 week. Waiting passively for supplies to disappear is impossible for a soldier like him. Lu has always survived by controlling danger before danger controls him. That instinct once made him the youngest soldier king among his comrades. Near the village edge, several women gossip beneath an old leafless tree. They form the unofficial intelligence network of Quishan village. The moment they see Lu, curiosity brightens every weathered face. They ask about the beautiful wife he brought home from the city. One woman describes Yushi's fair skin like that of a nobleman's daughter. Then Zhao Mama Wu Laurer's sharp-tongued mother spits out a vicious insult. The word aimed at Yushi freezes Lu's blood. In one smooth movement, he draws the bow and nocks an arrow. The arrowhead stops directly between the old woman's terrified eyes. She collapses backward into the snow, screaming and scrambling away. Every other woman falls silent as Lu's killing intent fills the roadside. He warns that anyone insulting his wife again will enter the ground. Frantic nods answer him from every direction. Only neighbor Auntie Chun remains composed enough to speak clearly. She offers to watch Yushi while Lu travels into the mountains. Lu thanks her sincerely before continuing south alone. Half an hour later, he reaches the lower slopes of Eagle Mountain. Footprints cover the snow because other hunters already searched the easy ground. Nothing valuable remains near the base. Lu pushes deeper where the drifts rise almost to his knees. Deer-hide boots protect his feet, but each step still wastes precious strength. He cuts 2 broad pieces of bark and ties them beneath his boots. The crude snowshoes spread his weight and keep him above the deepest powder. They even allow him to slide quickly down gentler mountain slopes. Once alone, Lu begins testing the unfamiliar buffalo horn bow. Its draw weight exceeds the modern compound bows he used before. His first arrow misses the chosen mark by nearly 1 inch. Such an error would be unacceptable during a real ambush. He retrieves the arrow, shoots again, and repeats the process relentlessly. By the 30th shot, his accuracy has improved dramatically. At 50 meters, each arrow lands within less than half an inch. Satisfied, Lu begins searching for water, because animals eventually approach it. Another half hour reveals steam rising between snow-covered trees ahead. Beside a hidden hot spring, a massive elk finally lowers its head to drink. Lu lowers himself behind the trees and studies the elk without disturbing a single branch. The animal stands alert beside the steaming water, ears twitching toward every distant sound. It waits several minutes before finally lowering its head again. Lu remains still because the most vulnerable moment comes after satisfaction. The elk drinks deeply, relaxes, and slowly raises its head from the spring. Lu removes one glove, tests the wind, estimates distance, and steadies his breathing. Then he rises, draws the heavy bow fully, and releases in one motion. The arrow punches through the elk's skull from 35 meters away. The wounded animal runs several desperate steps before collapsing into the snow. Lu reaches it quickly and cuts the throat to end its suffering. The elk weighs at least 200 pounds and promises wealth in many forms. Its meat can feed them while blood may strengthen Yushi's weakened body. The antlers can be traded and the hide can become desperately needed winter clothing. Lu reaches for the arrow buried in the skull. Every battlefield instinct inside him suddenly screams. He throws himself several inches left as another arrow slices past his head. The shaft buries itself in the snow where his skull had been. Lu drops rolls in a broken pattern and reaches the shelter of a tree. From the arrow's angle, he identifies the attacker's position almost immediately. Someone has been waiting nearby, planning to kill him and steal the elk. The hidden attacker begins repositioning, but the deep snow slows every movement. Lu's bark snowshoes give him the speed advantage. He circles silently, finds the opening, and draws before the enemy notices. One arrow strikes the man's chest and throws him backward into the snow. Lu does not approach immediately because one mistake has already nearly killed him. He watches the fallen man crawl, then sends several more arrows into him. Afterward, Lu circles the entire clearing and searches for additional enemies. Only when every surrounding tree appears safe does he approach the body. The man lies face down, motionless beneath crude leather armor. Lu draws once more and fires into the place where the heart should be. The supposed corpse jerks and releases a desperate growl. He had been pretending to die. Lu's final arrow ends the deception permanently. When he turns the body over, foreign features confirm the truth. Blonde hair, blue eyes, and a hooked nose mark a Wan warrior. These barbarians come from across the border and rarely travel alone. If one scout is here, companions must be operating somewhere nearby. Worse, they may attack Quishan village when his safety signal never arrives. Lu strips the corpse of leather armor, a saber, arrows, and warm sheepskins. He drains the elk's blood to lighten the load and slow the meat's decay. Some fills his wine pouch while he drinks the rest directly for strength. Then he pours the remaining blood across the dead Wan soldier. Wolves will follow the scent and erase much of the evidence. Warm blood spreads through Lu's frozen body, restoring heat and alertness. He hoists the enormous elk across his back and begins the long return. More than an hour later, chimney smoke finally appears beyond the snow. Lu releases a quiet breath when Quishan village comes into view. Villagers returning with firewood notice the elk and rush toward him. Coal exists near Wuan, but government controls keep it beyond ordinary families. Wood remains the only fuel poor villagers can gather freely. People surround Lu, touching the elk and praising the impossible catch. They claim even his father never carried home an animal this large. Several demand to know where he found it so they can try their luck. Then Xiao Lawu pushes through the crowd with an eager, calculating smile. He suggests Lu divide the meat now and accept repayment sometime later. Others immediately support the proposal because free meat sounds better than hunting. Lu answers that the elk belongs to the man who risked death catching it. Anyone wanting meat may hunt their own animal. Then he warns that a Wan soldier was hiding on Eagle Mountain. Fear silences the crowd for one brief moment. Xiao Wu laughs loudly and accuses Lu of inventing the entire story. He claims several Wuan fighters can carve through 100 ordinary soldiers. Other villagers agree that even veterans fear a single Wan scout. They accuse Lu of lying merely to protect the elk from hungry neighbors. A girl around 10 years old runs through the crowd toward him. She is Hwawa, Auntie Chun's granddaughter and one of the village's kindest children. Lu ruffles her hair and asks whether she has been gathering firewood again. Hwawa explains that her grandmother planned to send searchers before darkness. Auntie Chun had promised only to watch Yushi, yet worried about Lu as well. The unexpected concern warms him more than the elk blood ever could. He lifts Hwawa's oversized basket and invites her home for roasted meat. Her eyes widen because she has not eaten meat in 3 years. The last time came after her father returned from battle with some lamb. Her sick mother's coughing eased briefly after drinking that nourishing soup. Hua quietly hopes deer meat might help her mother again. They barely begin walking before another voice demands payment at the village entrance. Jungbo squats there with several followers waiting to rob returning villagers. He calls his extortion a tax, though no government granted him authority. Lu continues forward without slowing. Jungbo jumps up and blocks the path with an offended expression. Lu tells him plainly that worthless bullies possess no right to collect taxes. One follower, Wang Hao, grins and mentions Lu's newly married wife. He suggests the gang might teach Lu what to do on his wedding night. Lu's open palm strikes before the man finishes speaking. The slap cracks through the village like a snapped board. Wang Hao flies several meters and tumbles across the frozen ground. Everyone freezes because the heavy man was launched by one casual hand. Wang Hao rises unsteadily and orders the others to attack. Jungbo does not move. He understands the strength behind that slap better than his foolish companion. Villagers begin cheering because they have suffered under these thugs for years. The former Lu always accepted humiliation and never raised a fist. Now the bullies cannot decide whether retreat or broken bones would cost more pride. Lu starts walking toward them with slow, deliberate steps. Rapid hoofbeats suddenly thunder beyond the village. Every resident recognizes that sound before the riders even appear. 3 Wan horsemen charge through the entrance with curved swords and bows. Panic explodes across Quishan village as people scatter between the houses. An arrow lands beside Jungbo's feet, sending him crawling away in terror. Lu grabs Hua and avoids another arrow that would have killed her. He shoves the girl toward the safety and orders her to warn Yushi and Auntie Chun. Hua nods despite her terror and runs, dropping the heavy basket behind. Lu throws down everything, slowing him, and reaches the large elm tree. He draws aims for the lead rider's forehead and releases. The rider senses danger and jerks his head aside at the last instant. Lu's arrow tears through his cheek and destroys one ear. Blood spreads across the man's face as fury replaces surprise. The wounded rider realizes Lu must have killed their missing companion. He orders the entire village slaughtered. The riders are already within 40 meters, firing at fleeing civilians. An elderly woman who weaves straw sandals takes an arrow through her back. She falls face first into the dirt and dies before anyone reaches her. Then a weak sound behind Lu turns his blood cold. Jungbo has seized Hua and strapped her against his back as protection. An arrow meant for him is pierced straight through the child's chest. Rage erupts inside Lu, but the approaching riders leave no time for rescue. They close to 10 meters. Lu draws the bowstring beyond its normal limit as adrenaline floods his arms. One rider shouts a warning, yet the arrow is already flying. The shaft drives through his forehead and throws him from the saddle. Lu fires again while the remaining enemies rush directly toward him. One warrior swings a curved blade toward his skull. Lu shoots without aiming and dives into a forward roll. The rider blocks the arrow with his sword, scattering sparks through the air. Another Wan soldier charges, convinced a civilian cannot survive close combat. His blade descends toward Lu's head as a confident smile spreads. The smile freezes instantly. During the roll, Lu drew the saber taken from the mountain scout. His rising slash severs the rider's arm through leather armor and bone. Even maimed, the warrior swings his remaining fist toward Lu's throat. The determination earns respect, but it cannot change the outcome. Lu's second cut opens the man's throat before another attack can begin. Blood sprays across his face and chest as the rider falls. The exchange lasts only several heartbeats. The final horseman has already entered the village and attacks anyone nearby. Certain his companions would kill Lu, he exposes his back without concern. Lu mounts a fallen rider's horse and races after him. The Wan warrior has already killed Zhao Mama, the woman who insulted Yushi. Her son Xiao Lao Wu screams beside the body and charges with a farming hoe. The rider avoids the clumsy swing and raises his sword to kill him. Lu's arrow strikes the blade mid-swing and knocks it from the warrior's hand. He closes the distance and forces the enemy to face him instead. The rider recognizes the captured horse and realizes Lu killed another companion. He tries demanding a fair duel after losing his weapon. Lu shoots him through the chest before the request is complete. The dying soldier curses the ambush as dishonorable. Lu spits beside him and rejects the hypocrisy. Anyone cutting down unarmed villagers has no right to demand fairness. He urges Xiao Lao to take revenge for his murdered mother. Hatred fills the man's eyes, but terror keeps his hands from moving. Other villagers peek from hiding and retreat when they see an enemy breathing. Lu understands that years of defeat have broken their courage. The Wan are not monsters, only vicious men willing to fight until death. Lu ends the last rider with one clean cut across the neck. Then Yushi's panicked voice rises above the cries around them. She limps toward him through the dust falls and nearly reopens her wound. Lu catches her before she strikes the ground. She asks whether he is injured and whether every Wan attacker is dead. Lu confirms the enemies are dead, though one village vermin remains alive. His gaze searches for Zhangbo, who used Hua as a shield. The coward has already vanished among the houses. Lu wants to hunt him immediately, but wounded villagers need urgent help. Guilt twists inside him because Hua waited near the entrance for his return. He asks whether any garlic medicine remains inside the shack. Yushi says there is enough and starts limping home to retrieve it. Wu Laorer's wife supports her while Lu moves toward the injured child. Cries spread across the village as families discover the dead. At least 10 people have fallen during the brief raid. Lu burns that number into his memory. Auntie Chun and Hua's mother kneel over the girl's tiny body. He pushes through the crowd and examines the arrow wound immediately. Hua whispers his name with barely enough strength to form the words. Lu tells her to remain awake because he can still save her. She asks for one promise before the darkness takes her. Her mother and grandmother must receive meat because it helps the coughing. The request shatters her mother, who breaks into helpless sobs. Even hardened villagers turn away because Hua is not yet 10. Lu heats his knife over a fire while speaking calmly to her. He promises everyone will eat together when she recovers. A faint smile touches Hua's bloodless face. The arrow passed through her chest, but miraculously missed every vital organ. Blood loss is the greater danger because she is small and malnourished. Lu orders her mother to hold her upright and keep her perfectly still. The woman has almost abandoned hope because city doctors avoid such injuries. Lu's determination rekindles something inside her, and she obeys every instruction. He cuts off the arrowhead and pulls the shaft through in one movement. Hua loses consciousness instantly from the pain. Lu shouts for boiled cloth while pressing both hands around the wound. Auntie Chun arrives carrying a clay pot of steaming water. Lu plunges his hand inside, ignores the burn, and grabs the clean fabric. He wrings it out and binds Hua's chest as tightly as safety allows. Yushi returns with the garlic extract before the bleeding starts again. Lu opens Hua's mouth and feeds her a careful spoonful. Then he sends her home to rest beneath constant watch. Whether she survives now depends on strength medicine and uncertain fate. Lu's face becomes colder after finishing the treatment. His hatred for Zhangbo surpasses even his hatred for the Wan. Other wounded families witness Lu's skill and fall to their knees around him. They beg him to save wives, mothers, brothers, and children. Some offer lifelong service because guilt has replaced their earlier mockery. Lu recognizes that these frightened villagers are not truly evil. Harsh words spoken during hunger cannot compare with sacrificing a child. He orders Yushi to organize the elk butchering and start cooking meat. The Wuan attacked partly because Lu killed their scout in the mountains. He cannot keep the elk selfishly while the entire village suffers. Lu moves from one injured person to another without resting. He removes arrows, cleans wounds, and teaches others how to bind them. Under his command, people boil water, tend fires, prepare food, and carry patients. For the first time since the raid began, order replaces panic. Then another wave of hoofbeats reaches the village. Many more horses are coming this time. Villagers freeze, then begin running before anyone confirms the danger. Lu places the wounded man down and orders Hua's mother to continue bandaging. He calls for every courageous man to seize a weapon and follow him. No one moves at first. Watching Lu kill 3 Wuan riders changed their understanding of strength. Fighting beside him still requires courage they have never possessed. Xiao Laowu steps forward first, shame and grief burning through his fear. He lifts a captured Wan saber and demands revenge for his mother. Another man follows because the raid killed his wife. 3 more join them, leaving Lu with 5 trembling volunteers. They are thin, underfed, poorly armed, and terrified. Yet they are moving forward instead of hiding. Lu takes his bow and leads them toward the entrance. He orders the 5 to conceal themselves and wait for his signal. Around a dozen approaching riders carry torches through the darkening road. If they are Wan, escape will no longer save anyone. Lu draws his bow and prepares to shoot the first figure entering range. A voice identifies the riders as soldiers from the Wan garrison. Lu refuses to lower his weapon until their banner becomes clearly visible. Only then does he signal the volunteers to stand down. They release enormous breaths of relief, believing the danger has ended. Lu feels no such comfort because feudal soldiers often bring different threats. The riders arrive and immediately demand that every villager kneel. Wu Laorer and the others start lowering themselves from habit. Lu grabs one man and pulls him upright before his knees touch the ground. He claims a knee injury from killing Wan soldiers prevents him from kneeling. One rider pushes ahead and Lu recognizes Zhao Ying immediately. The commander's son remembers Lu from an earlier confrontation over village women. His contemptuous smile reveals that the surviving danger now wears their own uniform. Zhao Ying studies the 3 Wan corpses and refuses to believe Lu killed them. Lu mocks the officer's slow arrival and the fat belly beneath his armor. The insult cuts deeply because everyone knows Zhao Ying earned rank through his father. Wu Laurer and the others drag the enemy bodies before the soldiers. Experienced troops recognize armored Wan cavalry and understand the achievement immediately. Even 30 ordinary soldiers might fail against one warrior like these. Zhao Ying dismounts and claims the kills belong to his own patrol. His plan is simple: steal Lu's military merit and silence the villagers. Yushi hears enough to understand the danger before Lu says anything. She leans close and quietly urges him to strike hard and finish quickly. Lu expected caution, but his new wife possesses sharper instincts than imagined. Zhao Ying waves forward dozens of soldiers with weapons already drawn. The villagers hesitate before the authority of the commander's only son. Xiao Lawu and the other 5 volunteers refuse to abandon Lu. They openly accuse Zhao Ying of stealing glory from a genuine fighter. Standing against Wan required courage, but opposing the army risks execution. Their loyalty erases every petty conflict Lu once had with them. Lu warns Zhao Ying that the garrison commander may punish such shameless corruption. Zhao Ying only grins and asks who actually witnessed the battle. His soldiers reluctantly support the lie because military obedience leaves no choice. Lu smiles, then crosses the distance before anyone can react. His dagger appears against Zhao Ying's throat, drawing a thin line of blood. The spoiled officer has never felt an enemy blade and begins shaking uncontrollably. He orders his men to drop their weapons and save his life. The soldiers refuse because Commander Zhao forbids surrendering weapons under any circumstance. One veteran even advises Zhao Ying to endure the situation a little longer. Lu's amusement terrifies the captive officer more than anger ever could. Zhao Ying promises to report every kill honestly if Lu releases him. Lu answers that trust disappeared the moment armed men surrounded innocent villagers. A powerful voice behind the formation asks whether Lu might trust him instead. Commander Zhao Taishan arrives leading more than 100 disciplined soldiers. Every rank parts automatically as he walks toward Lu and his captive son. Xiao examines the Wan corpses, then praises Lu loudly before the village. He claims to have noticed Lu's unusual potential during the wife selection. Lu does not relax because a pleasant sentence cannot erase the son's behavior. Zhe calmly guides the dagger away and Lu allows it without surrendering readiness. Behind him, several villagers nearly protest, but Yushi stops them quietly. She tells them to trust her husband's judgment and avoid worsening the scene. Her composure surprises men who expected a frightened exile. Most veterans assume Lu will be executed for threatening an officer. Instead, Zhao Taishan turns and slaps his own son across the face. Zhao Ying flies into the dirt as the entire crowd falls speechless. The commander roars that real warriors are dying while his son steals credit. He kicks and beats Zhao Ying before every soldier and villager. Lu quickly realizes the punishment is partly theater for public reputation. Zhao keeps glancing toward him, waiting for the expected gracious intervention. Lu deliberately watches until the exhausted commander begins losing breath. Only then does he catch Zhao's arm and request mercy for the young officer. Zhao sighs secretly, yet continues pretending the discipline must be completed. Lu whispers that further acting may cause him to stop restraining the commander. Zhao immediately develops a violent coughing fit and ends the performance. Lu helps him sit, then advises giving foolish young men another chance. Both understand the unspoken warning that Zhao Ying must never cross Lu again. Zhao praises Lu's generosity and invites him to enlist officially. Lu accepts because the army offers the fastest road toward power. Commander Zhao awards him 30 taels of silver for killing 3 armored cavalrymen. He also promotes Lu to squad leader with 10 soldiers beneath him. Lu receives authority over Quishan village and neighboring Songhan village. When spring arrives, his new squad must serve on the northern front. The border hierarchy rewards enemy kills, though corruption distorts every written rule. Lu understands squad leader is a minor beginning, not a final achievement. He thanks Zhao publicly and promises to kill enough enemies to justify the trust. Xiao explains that future Wan heads can be exchanged directly for military merit. A soldier presents the silver and a wooden badge carved with Lu's new rank. When the army leaves, every villager kneels and salutes their new squad leader. Lu knows promotion has increased danger rather than removed it. The Wan will retaliate while Zhao Tai-shan will remember his son's humiliation. Looking across the dead villagers, Lu sees people too broken even for anger. He cannot rebuild their courage immediately, but he can impose order. Lu announces that both villages will obey his commands from this day forward. Then he asks whether anyone has seen Jiang Bo. The bully's newly assigned wife reveals she lowered him into a nearby well. Wu Peng and Xiaoyang drag Jiang Bo out and force him to kneel. Lu accuses him of using Huahua as a shield during the attack. Jiang Bo claims he was carrying the child towards safety. He calls the arrow her bad luck and insults her grieving family. Auntie Chun grabs his collar, but he shoves the old woman away. Even before Lu Jiangbo cannot stop threatening helpless villagers, then he offers stolen wine and promises loyal service in exchange for mercy. Lu smiles and says he would genuinely enjoy tasting the expensive drink. Disbelief and disgust spread because villagers think another official has accepted corruption. Jiangbo rises confidently and announces that he and Lu are brothers now. Lu's blade flashes before the bully completes another step. Jiangbo's head spins through the air and lands in the dirt. Lu warns that anyone harming their own people will receive the same ending. Fear settles across the village exactly as Lu intends. He orders the wounded home and distributes the elk meat among every household. Hunger briefly replaces grief as families hurry for bowls and cooking pots. Wu Peng and Xiaoyang receive responsibility for maintaining order. At home, Yushi has already prepared steaming deer stew and hot water. She gently wipes the enemy blood from Lu's face before he eats. A thin woman named Yi Xinger arrives carrying Jiangbo's hidden wine. She was assigned as his wife and now has no land food or protection. Xinger kneels and begs Lu to accept her as a concubine. Lu notices Yushi watching him with complete concentration. He refuses the proposal but offers Xinger food for helping care for Yushi. The disappointed woman accepts because survival matters more than pride. Yushi welcomes her, gently recognizing another displaced daughter of a fallen family. After Xinger leaves, Yushi asks why Lu rejected such an easy opportunity. He explains that exile has already taken enough from his wife. He wants her to possess one stable thing in this brutal world. Tears stream down Yushi's face as Lu calls her his only trusted family. Their private warmth cannot erase the possibility of another night raid. Lu leaves again to organize guards, horses, supplies, and remaining meat. A 15-year-old orphan named Lu Yang volunteers for Frozen Night Watch. He asks permission for his younger brother Lu Hu to share the duty. Lu recruits both boys and promises that loyal soldiers beneath him will eat. Their faces brighten because a full stomach is worth more than silver. Wu Peng complains when ordered to feed the captured horses. Lu slaps him and explains that wages transform requests into military orders. The frightened man obeys while Xiaoyang takes the horses without complaint. Lu personally checks every wounded household before returning home. Villagers cannot believe an officer kneels in dirt to bandage common people. Lu sees desperation rather than wickedness behind most frontier behavior. Feed people honestly, and many will remember how decent lives are supposed to feel. Back home, Lu finds Yushi sewing a quilt from donated cloth and cotton. Grateful villagers contributed what little they owned after his promotion. Her refined needlework reveals training far beyond that of an ordinary criminal. Yushi finally confesses that her father was one of Du's 8 pillar generals. Emperor Xundi executed her parents' 3 brothers and 28 relatives. She fears her identity will eventually bring disaster to Lu. Lu answers that fear has never been part of his language. Her family's murderer becomes his enemy from that moment onward. He even promises that one day the emperor himself will answer for the massacre. Yushi freezes because a common hunter speaks of regicide without hesitation. Overwhelmed, she embraces him and weeps for the family she lost. Lu says a ruler who allows such corruption deserves to be replaced. His courage, ambition, and devotion finally break through Yushi's remaining defenses. They kneel beneath moonlight and perform a simple marriage ceremony. Yushi vows lifelong loyalty before heaven and earth. Lu promises plainly to protect her and honor both their dead families. Their first true wedding night finally gives 2 lonely lives a shared home. At dawn, Lu leaves the bed quietly and begins his lifelong morning training. He performs the 18 black dragon fists learned in his former world. Yushi watches and recognizes external skill surpassing even elite imperial techniques. However, she warns that he lacks internal breathing cultivation. Without it, hidden damage will destroy his joints and bones with age. Her family preserved a secret standing method designed to protect powerful fighters. She demonstrates the posture and explains each controlled breathing cycle. Lu trusts her and begins practicing despite the stance's harmless appearance. Within 15 minutes, sweat pours from him and every muscle begins shaking. The method works more deeply than any modern exercise he once knew. Yushi cries while remembering brothers forced to practice the same stance. Lu completes the session with progress that once required her brothers several days. She begins believing he may truly possess the talent to avenge her family. During breakfast, Yushi perfectly repeats the garlic extraction procedure from memory. She even measured each stage by counting her pulse while watching once. Lu realizes his wife possesses extraordinary observation and technical intelligence. He leaves Yushi and Shinger brewing medicine for injured villagers. With Xiaoyang and the Lu brothers, he rides toward Songhan village. Quishan residents now greet him warmly and offer food along the road. His men marvel at how one night of fair leadership changed the village. At Songhan, local thief Su Fei mocks Lu's badge and insults the orphan brothers. Lu Yang presses a saber against Su Fei's throat and demands respect. Then another squad leader named Li Da arrives with armed followers. Li claims Commander Zhao transferred Songhan under his own authority. He produces a crude forged order designed to fool an illiterate hunter. Lu tears it apart and accuses him of forging military documents. Enraged, Li attacks, but Lu's dagger reaches his throat before the sword rises. Lu questions why Li ignored Quishan's signal fire during the Wan raid. A teenager named Na Yun exposes Li's long record of cowardice and abuse. Li abandoned Na Yun's father, stole his enemy kill, and gained rank through fraud. Songhan villagers kneel together and beg Lu to deliver justice. Li threatens military court because Commander Zhao appointed him personally. Lu declares that rank exists to protect people, not prey upon them. One slash opens Li's throat before the tyrant can answer. Years of rage erupt as villagers tear apart the man who ruined their families. Ne Yun refuses to join the frenzy and asks instead to fight the Wuan. Impressed by his discipline and filial loyalty, Lu recruits him immediately. Li's soldiers surrender, claiming they only followed orders. Lu rejects that excuse because they accepted rewards while helping terrorize innocents. His men disable them and the abused villagers complete the punishment. Lu Yang executes Su Fei when the crowd demands justice against the thief. Lu then recruits 50 workers to fortify Oxmong Mountain Pass. Men receive 1 pound of millet daily, while others receive smaller, fair portions. The generous wages bring desperate volunteers from both villages. Lu orders trenches, sharpened stakes, camouflage, and defenses against cavalry mobility. Paying workers simultaneously feeds families, builds loyalty, and strengthens the frontier. In Wan City, Lu openly purchases 3,000 pounds of grain. Masked bandits predictably ambush the returning carts on the road. Lu kills their leader within heartbeats and forces the survivors to surrender. He questions them methodically, then follows the last man toward their mountain camp. Inside the hideout, Lu discovers a chest filled with government silver. A surviving bandit reveals they traded illegal salt and iron to the Wan. Their secret master is Commander Zhao Taishan himself. A golden Zhao household token confirms that the accusation carries dangerous truth. Lu kills the bandit and claims 230 taels as military funds. In another hut, he discovers women destroyed by captivity, abuse, and disease. Their infections have advanced beyond any treatment available in this world. The dying women ask only that their families hear comforting lies about distant marriages. They also beg for swift deaths rather than prolonged decay. Lu's men grant that final mercy while he waits outside in anguish. He swears that every person responsible will eventually pay. Returning home, Lu hides the silver and expands work at Oxmang Pass. Yushi agrees that Zhao must remain untouched until they possess greater strength. Together they plan to earn merit, rise through the army, and build loyal forces. Yushi also reveals a photographic memory and knowledge of her family's spear techniques. Over the following days, workers deepen trenches and train beneath Lu's direction. Another Wan patrol attacks before the defenses are complete. Lu kills several riders while Na Yun and the Lu brothers choose to fight beside him. Their courage stops the fleeing villagers and begins restoring broken frontier pride. Lu defeats a chain-mailed giant only after exhausting his weakened body completely. He compensates every dead worker's family with grain, earning unprecedented loyalty. 9 Wan heads bring Lu before Commandant Cloud Tian in Wan City. After punishing corrupt officers, Cloud promotes Lu to corporal. Lu receives Silver Horse's equipment and the skilled Sun brothers as subordinates. He wins their loyalty through medicine, trust, and treatment unlike anything they knew. 2 weeks later, Oxmang Pass becomes a concealed graveyard for Wuan cavalry. Lu recruits and trains 27 soldiers using methods from his former life. Trenches destroy another patrol without costing a single villager's life. Military rewards captured horses and shared meat strengthen both villages further. Yet hidden enemies grow active as Lu's influence and resources expand. Bandits learn about his secret mountain raid through a traitor among his own men. Lu exposes Huiting as both informer and leader of a feared local gang. After executing the traitor, Lu raids the gang's cave with the Sun brothers. They discover letters tied to a mysterious military figure and enormous hidden silver. Lu shares the fortune, generously binding the brothers to him through gratitude and trust. Then 4 trapped Wan riders bring another bounty without costing a single soldier. The Sun brothers carry the heads toward Wan City while everyone prepares to celebrate. Near sunset, they return barely conscious, with arrows in their backs, reporting that powerful bandits killed their escort and stole everything.